what I want to do is frame out this wall. As you can see, it's bare, so I mean, I can show you that wall there. Nice and bare. So I need to frame that wall. But then, as far as this wall goes, I think what I'm going to need to do is put drywall up first. So I had to tear it out because there was a leak there, obviously. So fix that leak, and then I think what I'll have to do is re-drywall this. I don't know that I'll have to drywall that. Honestly, got no idea what I'm doing. So I may also have to drywall that, but I don't exactly want to spend the money on drywall. Because why if I'm just going to cover it? So unfortunately, that's all I can do for today, though, till I go get some more. All right, so I did run out and get some material here, and the final decision was to go ahead and install framing and drywall all the way around in the basement. That way, if for whatever reason the panel needs to be taken down, there's still something behind it. So first things first here, we've got a bit of framing to do. Can't do anything unless we have somewhere to attach everything to, and concrete, not your best friend when it comes to that. So I guess technically I didn't do this the best way possible. My original plan was to construct the wall completely and put it up all together. However, I kind of got ahead of myself, got a little too excited, ended up putting up that first half of the wall before the second half, which was actually a blessing in disguise in some ways, and it came back to hurt me in others. So it helped me by being able to maneuver it around that water meter, but it hurt me when I decided not to attach the extra stud for underneath the window. So I did have to toenail that one in. No big deal, just would have been better if I'd have done it the right way. As it was, though, I did make those studs about 1.5 inches too long. I accounted for them running all the way up to the bottom of the windowsill when there needs to be a 2x4 up there, which I did account for that 2x4. So I don't know exactly what I was thinking, but I ended up running out, cutting those down, and everything fit just nice. The next thing we came up to was framing around that water meter. Now, the framing there doesn't need to be super hefty, so I decided to go ahead and grab some scrap 2x4s and start playing around with the angles, cut a couple, and it was only 2 or 3 different tries, and I've got it close enough to where I was able to toenail those boards in as well. Now, is it just me, or does drywall going up really start to make a project look finished? Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. If you've seen the beginning of this video, which I don't know how you would have made it this far if you didn't, I had no idea what I was doing. This is my first time ever installing drywall, and I have to admit, it was pretty daunting at first. However, once I got going, I kind of like drywall. It was not as bad as people made it out to be. Now, granted, I know the finishing process will be much harder and more of a pain in the butt, but as far as hanging drywall, it was actually kind of nice. Take your razor blade, cut where you want, snap it off, and then keep moving. It was it was honestly kind of nice. I was enjoying it. So I think I'll be using more drywall going forward in the future, and I will be way less scared of it. Now, what you just saw me do there was move these 56-pound pieces of drywall for probably about the third time. Now, one thing I will most definitely be doing in the future is putting the drywall in one place where I know I won't have to move it again until I need it. Moving those drywall all over the place was probably the worst part of dealing with the drywall. They're not light, and every time you go to move them, you run the risk of damaging them. And just the smallest drop and a corner's gone and the whole piece almost is rendered useless. Now, lucky for me and the project that I'm doing, if I were to have managed to drop one, it would not have rendered the entire panel useless because I have quite a few spots down here where I'm cutting the drywall into quite manageable pieces. So what I'm doing is probably not advised if you were to be finishing this drywall out and not placing anything over it. But lucky for me, I'm actually going to be putting paneling over all of this drywall. So where you see all these gaps that I'm filling in, just kind of scabbing pieces in,
I'm not worried about those and I'm not worried about the edges or anything because the final product is actually going to be a paneling over top of it. So these pieces are actually just filler more or less just to bring the entire wall to the same distance off of the studs. That way I've got a nice clean space to be hanging the paneling off of. Now, I know I might be just a little bit ahead of you here, but what we're going to do is we're going to get over to this water meter again and framing that out. When I initially hung those 2x4s, I knew that I was going to need some sort of support in the back, but I wasn't exactly sure where I was going to need to put those. So when we put the drywall up there, I took my phone and made sure that it was nice and level, held everything there, and then I just went ahead and tapped in a couple nails and then was able to screw the drywall in there. Now, I didn't ask you for anything in the beginning of this video, but if you did manage to make it this far, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like and maybe dropping a comment, let me know you made it this far. And as always, please be sure to subscribe if you find this content entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one.